Webtoons these days are so expletive, boring.
It's always got some loser getting stronger, haha.
Yeah, and it's always about school violence. Who, expletive, does that now? It's because all these authors are old as expletive. School bullies were only around when they were students. For some reason, they think bullies are still everywhere these days. Yeah, man, totally, haha. Oh yeah, you're keeping watch properly, right? Soo-Yen Kim?
You expletive? Of course! How's this not school bullying?
And school violence!
Stop! Seriously, end school violence!
Guess it's not ending.
Nope. Let's go, guys.
Hey, did coin stock rise?
End school violence.
That whole bit right there was the opening sequence of the relatively new webtoon, Questism. It makes fun of how every high school manhwa that comes out today has bullying as a central theme before going on to unapologetically keep the trend going. I don't know who decided that was a good idea, but they keep popping out of the factory with increasing frequency, and I might as well kill some of my time and yours talking about them. But before that, if all goes according to plan, this is the first day of Webtoon Week and I'm on vacation in a little village no one's ever heard of before. If you want to come along for the ride and be notified for every upload through the rest of the week, be sure to slap that subscribe button. Epico. Now, I only half thought this through because I'm working under severe time constraints, so we're going to wing it. Why are there so many bullying webtoons? Answer 1. Because manhwaga are nerds and they were probably all victims when they were younger. Answer 2. Because manhwa readers are all nerds and they're probably all victims right now. Feel free to pick whichever you think is more appropriate. I'll go with both because good lord, the other kids won't stop picking on me. Help. I mean, getting back on topic, from the very little knowledge I have of South Korea, very lax laws for punishing underage offenders have turned some schools into war zones where the law of the jungle prevails. This obviously isn't to the dramatized level we get in webtoons, I hope, but that's about as bad as it feels for the kids who have to put up with it firsthand. With that in mind, it's easy to understand why a genre of stories that revolves around the victims of bullying being given the power to retaliate is so successful. The effect ranges from, well, at least I'm not getting beat that bad, to cheering on the characters on their quest to reclaim their lives and possibly even drawing motivation to take a stand and train to defend themselves. Anything the manhwaga can do to keep the kids in school going strong is a great service, and the countless stories covering that matter is a sign of the unity they have in furthering the effort. It's probably a sign that it's at least somewhat effective too, and on that note, I guess I'll share some of my favorite ones with you. Unordinary is about John. This guy's a cripple with no powers in a world where everyone has some form of special ability, but he's got a good head on his shoulders and a strong friend to give him backup, so he uses his knowledge of fighting and excellent physique to scrape by day to day and keep himself alive at the school where he undoubtedly is at the bottom of the food chain. I'll stop there because he already has a whole video and I'm struggling to keep a straight face while saying all of this. The superpowers make the story kinda ineligible anyway, so I just wanted to give it a mention in case the thumbnail looks bland so I can get better search traffic. It's all about the grind. Get Schooled is up next, and if you haven't heard of it, it's actually pretty unique among its kind. This guy here lost the woman he loved to some advanced school bullying that bordered on gang activity. Despite being a darn good teacher, the malice of her evil little brats was too much to overcome, so in the time following her passing, her mans and her dad in the Ministry of Education develop a special roaming teachers unit that goes from school to reform the kids. They're the only teachers in the country allowed to use corporal punishment, so they're in high demand and you can probably guess how the story goes from there. Yes, this is a grown man whose professional occupation is beating the snot out of rotten kids, and yes, it's a blast to read. Before we enter the territory of the special ability users, Viral Hit is probably one of the most inspiring among these stories. It's a classic zero to hero tale following the useless Yu Ho Bin. Scrawny, not particularly good looking or smart, doesn't have any special skills or important family members, he's about as prime a target as you can find to pick on. That is until one fateful night when his home is invaded and he ends up fighting a lackey bully on stream and gains the kind of overnight success on YouTube I could only ever hope for. Disclaimer, I don't have the time to reread any of these stories for this video, so if I mess up on the details, I'm sorry, my memory's bad. Now, just because Ho Bin is able to fend off his lowest tier adversary, that doesn't mean he's suddenly become respectable, so after he stumbles upon an underground YouTube channel run by a guy in a chicken mask who teaches people how to fight, he endeavors to turn his life around by becoming stronger and turns to streaming his fights against his oppressors to make more money than part-time work could ever reel in. If any of you have ideas I could use to blow up like this guy did, I'd readily receive them. The rest of the plot follows him expanding his channel and eventually starting an influencer group, all while he slowly grows to become a respectable fighter. Any more additions to the list and we might start to get repetitive, so I'll jump straight to an honorable mention. Study Group follows a highly skilled teenage fighter who just wants to get into university, so his goal is to start a study group at a school where studying is everyone's last priority. To get people to join his study group, he ends up having to fight off the bullies that disrupt the peace of the school, and I noticed that I'm giving it a full description, so I'm just going to say that I think this might be the funniest one, so I'll move on. If you're in the market for something more fantastical, Questism and Reality Quest both follow losers whose lives change for the better after system interfaces dishing out quests and rewards suddenly appear before them. Well, one of them had to have a heart attack and die first, and it's up to you to find out which that was. If I didn't get around to your favorite one of these, let me know what it is in the comments. I might bring it up in the future. As I said, there are just too many of these for me to give them all a chance to shine, so it is what it is. Plenty of Webtoon week still remains, so I must preserve my voice and be on my way now. So long from Kencha.